I hope you step on a Lego once for every single day of your life. Is someone having a bad day? Did someone really want to take their frustrations out on a stranger on the internet? Hello, all you beautiful people. In this video, I'm gonna be reading my weirdest hate comments. Just as a heads up, I'm not gonna be showing who posted these because I don't want them to get harassed. Cooties! What are you, 6? In a weird way, it feels very affirming to be told I have cooties. The is wrong with you? Just enjoy the damn movie and don't turn everything into a sausage party. You're the one who's making it about my genitals. I never brought them up. You did. Makes it sound like you want to sleep with me. Also, lots of YouTubers talk about movies, and talking about them doesn't take anything away from the movie. Maybe you're only going after me because I'm a woman. To be perfectly clear, we are laughing at you. Men who think they are/want to be women is probably one of the funniest things there is. Lighten up. No one wants to kill you, deny you housing or employment, etc, etc. We just declare you ridiculous, that's all. Lol. First off, there are people trying to do that. Literally, housing discrimination is legal in many parts of the US. And it happens. No one wants to kill you. Yes, there are. Trans people are being killed at an especially high rate, especially over the last 2 years, with the heightened transphobic rhetoric. Not to mention there's something called the trans panic defense, which creates like a legal loophole for people to kill trans people. You know, cis people like this, they're really weird. They say they don't use pronouns, but they use them all the time, meaning they just don't know what pronouns are. They fit the ideas of what a man in society is and what a woman in society is. Way to be basic, loser. Now, do I actually mean that? No. I'm just saying that what you perceive as different doesn't make it okay to laugh at. Because remember, that's still bullying, it's wrong, and it reflects negatively on you as a person. Or maybe, just maybe, people 45 years ago had enough common sense to know that the idea itself was ludicrous and that it was comedic. That's the whole joke. You can't be something you're not, no matter how you attempt to justify what feelings. Feelings are a weird thing because a lot of people say, well, I can't be trans because that's just a feeling. That's a little weird, right? Because by that logic, love does not exist because love is a feeling, so therefore, no marriage should exist. Is that what you're trying to say? Although to be fair, a lot of straight comedians do make jokes about how bad marriage is. And also, 45 years ago, this was not common sense, despite what people today may think. There was actually more acceptance 45 years ago than most people give it credit for. I mean, look at interviews of Christine Jorgensen, the first trans woman to get publicity for gender affirmation surgery.
My first question to you was, have you, and it's funny you should mention High Gardner's response, have you finally achieved full acceptance?
Oh, I don't know whether things would be full acceptance. With the intelligentsia, of course, on the educational level of colleges and so forth, yes. In John Q. Public, I'm not so sure sometimes. People are still believing that little boys should have blue booties and little girls should have pink booties.
Watch my video on the movie Glenn or Glenda, which is where I talk about the movie from 1953, where they talk about trans issues in an affirming way. I actually liked it, and then you start yapping about Gaza, seriously? And in their user handle, it says, Proud Zionist. Why am I not surprised? So you like my stuff until I saying, hey, innocent people should not be killed, especially children. And this was to raise money for families in Gaza, which I'll also link in the comments. And I know people in there will be like, but they are trans-friendly. People in Gaza are not a monolith. Not everyone in Gaza feels this way. And not only that, we as queer people need to do the right thing. Because, well, we know what it's like to be marginalized too. Ceasefire and free Palestine. End of story. Why do you have lipstick over your mouth? Looks weird. Where else would I put lipstick? On my nose? So basically, you're just looking for an excuse to hate someone because you have no personality. It's weird that you got the sense that I have no personality from a 5-second short. That's very weird, isn't it? For those who watch me for a while, you probably know I have a personality. I don't know where this idea comes from that I don't have a personality. I'm a drag queen. What I hate is discrimination. And transphobia, homophobia, racism. Both sidesism is ridiculous here. Imagine being called down to the principal's office and the principal says, you were caught bullying, what do you have to say for yourself? It's not fair. I should be allowed to bully who I want because you're hating on me for hating them. It's ridiculous. Gaza, I'm constantly amazed that anyone in the LGBTQ community would support an organization and agenda that would kill them just for existing. Of course, the whole thing is being socially engineered, but they can clearly make blank want to buy refrigerators. It's not great when you say you're very hateful and your reasoning involves a slur to begin with. Second, Gaza is not an organization or an agenda. It's a region with people, children. Are you saying these children want to kill me? That doesn't make any sense. Second, again, Gaza is not a monolith. And when you say it's like that, you're sounding ridiculous. These people are being hurt for no reason. Do you really think that is why Israel is attacking them? If you think that, you are not only naive, you're being a moron. Bro, you don't know them. This was on a transphobe or ally video. These are fictional characters. And I was doing headcanons. No, I don't know them. Because they're not real. Lisp. Yes, I have a lisp. Again, why are you bringing this up? Does that mean I don't have something to say because I have a lisp? No, that's ridiculous. Bisexual here, chill. Again, if you watch the full video, you would be understanding where I'm coming from. It's when people make snap judgments like this that go off the rails. Imagine getting offended by South Park. Not offended. If you want to see my videos in full, you can see my justification there. I use reasoning and logic to explain what is true and what isn't true. So watch the whole video instead of jumping to conclusions. And imagine being offended by one of my videos. Think about how weird that is. It's a joke. If you can't take a joke, you're part of the problem. Jokes are not in a vacuum, and there's reasons and context behind them. All I was doing was explaining that. I don't understand why people jump to the idea that, like, just because I didn't find something particularly funny means that I'm offended by it. I can disagree with something and not find it funny. Those are completely different things. Don't try and analyze Homer Simpson and just try to enjoy the comedy, sir. Even if you try and hide Mr. Happy, you are still a dude. Mazel tov. Again, why do you have to bring my genitals into it? It sounds like you want to sleep with me. It's not about criticizing the past so much as learning from the past and applying it to the future. That's what history is all about. When your history teacher says those who fail to understand history are doomed to repeat it, they weren't telling you, oh, you're gonna fail this class because you don't understand history. No, they're saying history repeats itself. Literally. I'm not gonna praise you as a trans woman. You have a male voice and you look like a male just with long hair and too much makeup. You have too much Nazi flags behind you that you think of as pride flags. I've had long hair, no problem with that. You have something wicked looking in your eye. Hate me all you want, censor me all you want, I don't give a sh**. Well, I guess it's a surprise for you that I'm actually highlighting your comment in a video. Talk about censorship. It's weird that you put trans woman in quotes. Like, do you think I'm not a trans woman? Also, it's weird that you call these Nazi flags when the Nazis, at their first book burning, burned queer literature and literally sent queer people to concentration camps and killed them? Learn your history. What do you think the pink triangle represents? Or do you just not know about the pink triangle? You're not being prosecuted for your beliefs. Seriously, people like this who get triggered at the mere sight of a trans person could not survive a day as a trans person. Good heavens, are you blank? I thought you had a point, and then I realized you're a freak of nature. So you liked what I was doing until you realized I was a freak of nature. And also, you're using a slur there in an unusual way. To be honest, I don't understand this comment or even where it's coming from. I think it's refreshing to see them use the term for a group that deserves it. Were you referring to the Harley Riders, or did you not watch the video? The world does not have to follow your lifestyle. The world does not have to accept your lifestyle. People are allowed to hate you and your beliefs. Talk about being triggered. Am I right? Like, if this is your response to seeing a trans person, you seriously could not handle a day being perceived as a trans person. I'm not expecting you to accept me, but if you don't accept me, I want no part of you in my life. That's your choice. Because Why do I need toxic people in my life? Are you suggesting pejorative words should be off limits? Why are toothless women funny to you? Why is being a Harley rider for attention worse than dressing in drag? I support legalizing sodomy so you don't have to go to jail for someone you love. I argue a homosexual is not mentally incompetent just because of who they're attracted to. But you need to grow up and grow thicker skin. Stop demanding other people bubble wrap the world for you. You really need to look in the mirror before you diagnose other people's mental health. Talk it out in group. Okay, this comment was so gold I had to respond to it, and well, the responses got very interesting. I answer a lot of these in the video. I didn't say people should be arrested for using these words, but there are consequences for using them because they affected so many people. I didn't say toothless women were funny. I said it was funny that Butters was specified that. Drag is an art form with a lot of variation. Saying drag is annoying like saying all movies are annoying. Also, at no point did I try to diagnose someone. Can you please elaborate on how you came to this conclusion? I didn't say arrest, you said consequences, implying canceling them. You have chosen a difficult path in life. If the worst thing that happens to you in a day is someone saying something you don't like, you had a great day. If you reel the words of strangers so fiercely, that doesn't make you a virtuous person. It means you have severe mental health issues. You claimed anyone who used the F word, homophobia. You be you and celebrate it, but stop trying to tone police everyone else. I want people to use these words. I want them to know how people feel. Do you think hiding their hate helps anyone? Would you rather have an open enemy or a hidden one? For your own good, toughen up. Then I said, I hate hate. It's a big difference between hating hate speech and hating minorities. Both sidesism is ridiculous. Would you say a white person saying the N-word doesn't deserve consequences for their actions? Yes. I've had the F slur directed to me. It's painful, especially when it comes from loved ones. These words don't exist in a vacuum. It's the meaning behind the word. And then this guy gave a wild final response, and I had to block them. A lot of things in life are painful. Whites deserve nothing more than any other person say the N-word. Whites freed the slaves when nobody else would, but we get no credit. Hate only begets more hate. Exactly. It's the hate from your loved ones that hurts you, not the word they used. If they accepted you with loving arms and used that word as a term of endearment, would that be okay? Wow, lots of things wrong with that. You assume that the loved ones who use that word against me use it in the form of endearment? No. Bold of you to assume that. Also, white people using the N-word? You're seriously gonna stake your claim on that? Seriously? And also saying white people freed the slaves is not exactly a historically accurate argument? What about people like Harriet Tubman, who literally freed slaves? Are you saying Harriet Tubman was white? What about the black abolitionists who literally fought to end slavery? Are you saying that their voices didn't do anything? Seriously, the idea that white people freed the slaves is historically wildly incorrect. Please, read a history textbook for once. And those are some of my weirdest hate comments I got recently. But there were some I couldn't show here on YouTube and TikTok because, well, they're a little too extreme. So, if you want to see those, please sign up for my Patreon. And thank you to my patrons, YouTube channel members, and TikTok subscribers. Without you, this video couldn't have been possible. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.